Tributes are pouring in for Gordon Lightfoot, who's being remembered as a true Canadian legend and poetic storyteller who helped define our musical landscape. Over the decades, Gordon Lightfoot wrote hundreds of songs, many of them iconic, including The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, Canadian Railroad Trilogy, Early Morning Rain, and Sundown.
Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs.
Music industry expert Eric Elper tells me Lightfoot's stirring and poetic lyrics dive deep into the country's culture, geography, and history and truly capture the spirit of Canada.
He really did sing about the things that made us all Canadian. He sung about our railroads and the wilderness and the trees and the highways and the rivers and the valleys. And he talked about us as human beings, as relationship Latin and the ups and downs and falling in love and falling out of love and marriage and divorce and having kids. He sung about all of that, and we got to call him our own.
Born in small-town Orillia, Ontario in 1938, Lightfoot found his voice as a young boy singing in churches and competing in talent shows. He joined the Yorkville folk scene in the 60s, and then his big break came in 1971 with the song If You Could Read My Mind, a chilling tale about a failed marriage.
In a castle dark or a fortress strong, the chains upon my feet.
Not only was it a chart topper in the U.S., but was one of many songs that went on to be covered hundreds of times.
You know you've made it when Elvis Presley and Johnny Cash cover your songs.
Yeah, and Judy Collins and Harry Belafonte and have a disco hit with Studio 54, with Stars on 54 having If You Can Read My Mind playing in the clubs in the 90s. That was a massive hit.
Canadian rocker Tom Cochrane inducted Lightfoot into the Singer-Songwriters Hall of Fame back in 2003 and calls this a tremendous loss.
I've cried twice when celebrities have passed, and one time it was Leonard Cohen, and then there was last night.
Cochrane describes Lightfoot as a gracious and humble man who was a steadfast Canadian, saying he was a staple at music festivals from coast to coast and had the innate ability to connect.
You know, if there was a Mount Rushmore in Canada, Gordon would be on it. He defines who we are as Canadians. There was a higher calling, and he kind of knew that.
Tributes are also pouring in on social media. Bryan Adams tweeting, "The world is a lesser place without him." The Tragically Hip posted, "He's one of the finest songwriters to ever grace a stage." And Jan Arden says, "We all know the words, even if we don't think we do. What a legacy you leave behind."
You know, there's only another couple of handful of names that I think we're going to feel the loss in this country as much as Gordon.
Lightfoot passed away at the age of 84 and leaves behind his wife, 6 children, and many grandkids. Shauna Hunt, City News.